A very good morning to all my dear students. Hope you are all well and fine at your homes and hope that you have done well in your exams. So students, now today we are starting with our half yearly course. So the chapters which are coming in half yearly exams, I will tell you. Syllabus for half yearly exams. Chapter 3, the Delhi Sultanate. Chapter 7, Social Change, Mobile and Settled Communities. Chapter 13, Our Changing Earth. Chapter 15, Weather and Climate. Chapter 24, the State Government. The repeated chapters which are coming from PT1 are chapter 11 and chapter number 22. These are the repeated chapters. Students, today we are starting with our new chapter for half yearly term. That is chapter number 3, the Delhi Sultanate. Students, you are very well aware about the salient features of the medieval period which we have studied in chapter number 1. Let's recall those salient features. First, Hinduism and Islam developed as major religions in the medieval period. Second, Sikhs and Marathas rose to power. Third, medieval period gave rise to multicultural societies. Fourth, many languages also developed during the medieval period. And if you remember, the most salient feature of the medieval period was the establishment of Delhi Sultanate and Mughal Empire in India. So, now the chapter which we are starting today is from that salient feature, the Delhi Sultanate. Chapter number 3, the Delhi Sultanate. In this chapter, you will study about the origin of the Delhi Sultanate, that how the sultans, they came to Delhi, how they established themselves, and the most important thing is you will study about the 5 dynasties which led to the establishment of Delhi Sultanate in India. So let's read the chapter. The Delhi Sultanate, Chapter 3. Muhammad Ghori defeated Prithviraj Chauhan in 1192 AD. Students, if you remembered, that the battle which took place between Muhammad Ghori and Prithviraj Chauhan was, yes, it was Battle of Tarain, which took place in the year 1192 AD, and in this battle Muhammad Ghori was the winner, and it laid the foundation of Muslim rule in India. This Battle of Tarain, it laid the foundation of Muslim rule in India. Muhammad Ghori was murdered in 1206 AD. He had no heir. Heir here means no successor. His generals declared themselves independent in different parts of his empire. So many generals were working under Muhammad Ghori. So when he was murdered, their generals declared themselves as independent, means they were now ruling themselves. Before his death, Muhammad Ghori had left Qutbuddin Aibak as the in charge of the territories he had conquered in India. So Muhammad Ghori before his death made Qutbuddin Aibak as in charge of all the territories which were annexed by Muhammad Ghori. Qutbuddin Aibak began to rule as an independent ruler and laid the foundation of the Delhi Sultanate. So who laid the foundation of the Delhi Sultanate? He was Qutbuddin Aibak. The period between 1206 AD to 1526 AD is known as a period of the Delhi Sultanate. So, with period from 1206 to 1526, is known as the period of Delhi Sultanate. Means in this period the sultans, they ruled. This is because the rulers of this period were known as sultans. They ruled from their capital city Delhi. So from from where they ruled? They ruled from Delhi. Delhi first became the capital of a kingdom under the Rajput dynasty of Tomaras, early 12th century. So earlier sultans who made Delhi as their capital, they were Rajputs. Under Tomaras and Chauhan dynasties, it became an important commercial center also. Coins minted here were called Delwal, which had a wide circulation. So coins were also minted in Delhi, and it was a commercial center for both Tomaras and Chauhan's dynasties. Delhi became the capital of the vast areas of the subcontinent only under the Delhi Sultanate. So when sultans, they came to rule, then Delhi became the capital of many vast areas, The following 5 dynasties of the Turkish Afghan origin together make the Delhi Sultanate. So the 5 dynasties of Turkish and Afghan origin, means the Turks and the Afghan rulers, their 5 dynasties led to the origin of the Delhi Sultanate. So the dynasties were the Slave dynasty, which ruled from 1206 to 1290, the Khalji dynasty from 1290 to 1320, the Tughlaq dynasty from 1320 to 1414 AD, the Sayyid dynasty 1414 to 1451 AD, the Lodi dynasty 1451 to 1526 AD. So in this chapter you are going to study about these 5 dynasties. So students, now today we are starting the first dynasty, the Slave dynasty. The Slave dynasty. Qutbuddin Aibak was a Turkish slave. You know na, that Turkish and Afghan, yes, led to the establishment of Delhi Sultanate. So who was Qutbuddin Aibak? He was a Turkish slave who played an important role in the expansion of the territories of Muhammad Ghori. So he not only protect the territories which were annexed by Muhammad Ghori, but he played a very important role in the expansion of those territories also. He declared himself the ruler after the death of Muhammad Ghori. He founded the slave dynasty. So who founded the slave dynasty? He was Qutbuddin Aibak. His successors were called Mamluk, which means slave or the son of a slave. So who were successors? Successors means which were under Muhammad Ghori. They were their successors. So that successors were called as Mamluk. The meaning is slave or the son of a slave, because he founded the slave dynasty. Students, here you make a correction. This is written S-A-V-E, save. But put here L. L is misprint. S-L-A-V-E, slave. Slave dynasty. Qutbuddin Aibak was very kind to all his subjects. Hence he was called as Lakh Baksh, which means the giver of lakhs. So he was very kind-hearted man, and his name was given as Lakh Baksh. Giver of the lakhs means that he helped his successors, his subjects with money also. He was successful in suppressing the internal revolts and external disturbances caused by the Mongols who invaded from the northwestern part of India. So it means that he was also a very successful ruler. Qutbuddin Aibak built the Qutub Minar in Delhi. So who built Qutub Minar in Delhi? It was built by Qutbuddin Aibak. And also several mosques in Delhi and Agra. He did not live long as he fell from a horse and died. So what was the main reason for his death? That he fell from a horse. So students, now Iltutmish will be there. Iltutmish, which ruled from 1210 to 80 AD to 1236 AD. Who was Iltutmish? He was the son-in-law of Qutbuddin Aibak. Iltutmish, a former slave and later son-in-law of Aibak. Iltutmish took over the throne amidst great opposition in 1210 AD. So, he took the throne of Qutbuddin Aibak in the year 1210 AD. Means many people, they don't want Iltutmish as the next successor after Muhammad Ghori. But with opposition, he became the next successor on the throne. He assumed the title of Shamsuddin, son of the religion. So what was the title given to Iltutmish? Shamsuddin. Iltutmish faced many challenges. He had to first crush the revolt of the nobles. He defeated Yaldos and occupied Lahore and Punjab. So see, he was also a very successful ruler, and he defeated Yaldos also. He attacked and defeated Kobacha, the governor of Sindh. Sindh, you know where it is? It is in Pakistan. He then subdued the Rajput chiefs of Ranthambore, Ajmer and Gwalior. So he also occupied Ranthambore, Ajmer and Gwalior. He also brought Bengal and Bihar under his control. While Iltutmish was trying to expand his empire, the Mongols under the leadership of Genghis Khan had begun to appear on the borders of India. So, as you know that Qutbuddin, he invaded the Mongols which were coming to India from the northwestern parts of India. So, when Iltutmish was extending his empire, again the Mongols under the leadership of Genghis Khan, again they tried to enter India. The Mongols were war tribes from Central Asia. So who were Mongols? They were warrior tribes from Central Asia. Iltutmish built a line of forts along the river Ravi in order to prevent the entry of the Mongols into India. So what Iltutmish had done to prevent Mongols to enter from India? He built a line of forts. Forts means kile. So he made a line of forts along the river Indus. But the Mongols continued their attacks and finally gained control over western Punjab. So Mongols finally they succeeded and they conquered Punjab. They entered into Punjab. Iltutmish introduced tankas or silver coins and jitals which were copper coins. So what were the coins issued by Iltutmish? Tankas which were known as silver coins and jitals which were known as copper coins. Several scholars and artists also entered India and received the protection of Iltutmish. So this shows that he was also a very kind-hearted ruler. So students, today we have studied about slave dynasty. Rest we will continue in the next video. Till then, your homework is read the chapter very properly till Iltutmish and watch the video carefully. Meet in the next video. Till then, have a good day.